what if you are not the original? A terrifying echo. Your memories, your very self, are they truly yours, or merely echoes in a vast simulated void? We will dissect the chilling evidence, the fractured logic, revealing the true nature of your singular existence. Our investigation begins where identity blurs, the very definition of consciousness.
We begin with a whisper, a silent, deeply ingrained assumption that underpins our very existence. You are singular. Your thoughts, your dreams, the kaleidoscope of your memories all coalesce into an undeniable I. This profound sense of self, a private universe within your skull, feels utterly unique, an unrepeatable masterpiece of consciousness, born of a singular journey. But what if this bedrock of identity, this intimate conviction of being the one and only, were merely an elaborate illusion? Imagine a scenario not plucked from science fiction, but from the cold, logical extensions of our own burgeoning capabilities. Consider the perfect replication. Every atom, every delicate neural pathway, every fleeting flicker of electric thought, duplicated with absolute, flawless fidelity. What if your entire accumulated life data, your very soul, could be digitally mirrored? Philosophers have long grappled with the Ship of Theseus, questioning if a vessel with every plank replaced remains the same ship. Now, apply this ancient, unsettling thought experiment directly to the fluid architecture of your own mind. Modern neuroscience reveals our brains are not static monoliths, but dynamic, ceaselessly changing landscapes, constantly rewiring themselves with each new sensation, each learned skill, each passing second. We are, in essence, always rebuilding our own ship. If such a perfect, instantaneous replication of your entire conscious experience, your personality, your deepest fears, your most cherished hopes, could be flawlessly transferred into an identical vessel, a true echo, utterly indistinguishable from the source, which one then holds the exclusive claim to being the original? And more unsettlingly still, if this identical copy walked among us, would it not possess the exact same absolute conviction of its own profound uniqueness? Are you absolutely certain your own consciousness isn't already such a meticulously crafted echo, unaware of its own genesis? The lines blur, the comforting certainty of your singular self crumbles. If identity can be so fluid, so potentially divisible, so exquisitely reproducible, then the very concept of an original self begins to feel like a phantom, a fragile construct designed to shield us from a far more profound and terrifying truth. This chilling premise, this fundamental doubt, is not merely a philosophical parlor trick. It is a long, cold shadow stretching over the very nature of your perceived reality.
The comforting certainty of your singular self, once a bedrock, now trembles. We stand at the precipice of a thought experiment so profound it threatens to unravel the very fabric of identity. Imagine, if you will, a machine of impossible precision, capable of perfectly replicating every atom, every memory, every ephemeral spark of your consciousness. One moment, you are here, breathing this air, convinced of your unique presence. The next, an identical you awakens on a distant world, feeling the exact same morning chill, recalling the same breakfast, utterly convinced of its singular, unbroken existence. The original you remains, yet a perfect double now walks a separate path, unaware of its mirrored origin. Which, then, is truly you? This isn't the stuff of idle fantasy, it's the chilling core of the teleporter paradox. If you step into a device that meticulously disassembles your form, atom by atom, only to reassemble an identical copy elsewhere, are you genuinely transported? Or did the original you simply cease to be, replaced by a perfect yet distinct replica? The sensation of continuity, the illusion of seamless passage, masks a potentially fatal discontinuity. Now, deepen the unease. What if, upon reconstruction, subtle divergences begin? A memory slightly altered, a preference subtly shifted, a dream recalled that the other you never experienced. Or consider the unsettling reports of déjà vu that feel too vivid, too precise, not a fleeting familiarity, but a full-blown recollection of an event you know you haven't lived. Could these be faint reverberations from an experience lived by a shadow self, a you in a parallel stream, whose reality is now subtly bleeding into yours? The mirror now reflects not one, but a fractured spectrum of potential selves, each claiming your name, your past, your very essence. And the most terrifying whisper? You might already be one of the copies, or the original long vanished, leaving behind only the echo of a self, meticulously maintained, yet utterly unaware of its own profound, unsettling truth. The very ground beneath your perceived reality has become a quicksand of identity, pulling you deeper into the abyss of unknowing.
The mirror now reflects not one, but a fractured spectrum of potential selves, each claiming your name, your past, your very essence. You might already be a copy, or the original long vanished, leaving only an echo. Your perceived reality has become a quicksand of identity. Let us turn from these phantom reflections. Imagine instead a perfect digital blueprint of you. Every neural connection, memory, and whisper of thought meticulously mapped and held in suspended animation. This isn't mere fantasy. Theoretical physics grapples with perfect information transfer, the complete reconstruction of a state. What if this blueprint, this digital echo, could be instantly deployed? Consider instantaneous transport. You step into a chamber, your body deconstructed, information beamed across the galaxy, then perfectly reassembled. The you that arrives feels seamless, identical. But what if, in that very moment, the original you was not destroyed? What if through cosmic error or deliberate act, both versions now existed? The original bewildered, and the duplicate blinking into existence light years away. Both would possess identical memories, immediate thoughts, the same conviction of being the one true self. Both would recall stepping into the chamber, feeling the same fear, the same wonder. Here, the comforting myth of a singular, unbroken consciousness shatters. If two identical, subjectively continuous yous can exist simultaneously, each convinced of its unique authenticity, then the concept of an original self, an indivisible stream, is a cruel illusion. Your consciousness is not an unyielding river, but identical waves, each believing itself the whole ocean. The possibility of perfect replication reveals the unique, continuous you believed in was never fundamentally what you thought. It was always replicable, and therefore, perhaps, never truly singular. This chilling realization redefines the quest. No longer about finding the original among copies, for that original has been philosophically dissolved. The question deepens. If consciousness can be perfectly duplicated, what does that imply about its nature, about free will? The search shifts from physical to metaphysical, confronting the self not as an unbroken thread, but an ephemeral pattern, revealing its fragility.
If your consciousness is merely an intricate pattern, a symphony of data that can be perfectly replicated, then the very core of your being, your unique and cherished self, might be an illusion. This is the chilling whisper that follows the disillusion of the original. But the problem is not merely intellectual. It's a visceral betrayal of everything we've ever believed. We are profoundly, intrinsically wired to perceive ourselves as singular, an unbroken thread of experience spanning from our first breath to our last. This new, unstable truth shatters that foundational belief. It forces us to confront a terrifying possibility that the you experiencing this moment is not unique, but one of potentially countless echoes, each believing itself to be the sole, authentic self. The terror isn't just in the idea of a copy existing, it's in the erosion of your own certainty. Could you ever truly trust your own memories, your own choices, knowing another you might be living them or even has lived them somewhere else? Imagine waking each day haunted by the specter of a phantom twin who shares your thoughts, your fears, your loves. Your triumphs become less significant, your sorrows less uniquely yours, because they are merely a data point in a vast replicated tapestry of existence. This isn't philosophical musing. It's a direct assault on the soul. The feeling of being the one, the irreplaceable, is fundamental to human identity, purpose, and even free will. To lose that is to lose a piece of your very reality. Your individual journey, once a unique epic, transforms into a common narrative, a script played out by multiple actors who all believe they are the protagonist. The loss of this foundational self isn't just a concept, it's an existential dread that gnaws at the edges of every perception. It strips away the comfort of a singular destiny, replacing it with the unsettling hum of infinite possibilities, none of them exclusively yours. But if the self is no longer singular, if identity is merely a replicable pattern, then what becomes of legacy, of meaning, of the very fabric of our perceived reality?
Imagine, for a fleeting, terrifying moment, that you are not the first. What if the very essence of you has been not born, but copied, an echo perfected beyond discerning its origin? But the true horror unfolds when this abstract concept bleeds into your most intimate perceptions. The unsettling hum of infinite possibilities, none of them exclusively yours, begins to resonate within the very core of your being. And this is where the mirror shatters, revealing not just one reflection, but an unsettling multitude, each claiming the same singular truth. Consider this. You awaken, not in your familiar bed, but in a sterile chamber bathed in an unnerving soft glow. Before you, a screen flickers to life, displaying a person identical to you in every conceivable way. Their eyes hold the same weariness, the same spark of curiosity. Their memories are yours, their scars, their secret hopes, every intimate detail of your life etched onto their perceived past. They believe with every fiber of their being that they are the original. Then a voice, disembodied and cold, informs you that one of you is the true, unadulterated consciousness. The other is a flawless duplicate, an echo brought to perfect, vibrant life. But which is which? How do you prove your singular, irreplaceable existence? Every memory you recall, they recall too. Every intimate thought, every pang of regret, every burst of joy, it is mirrored perfectly in their mind. The unique tapestry of your life, once your undeniable proof of self, now becomes a shared, unsettling narrative. Your subjective experience crumbles. Was that emotion truly yours when it could just as easily be theirs? Is your pain authentic if it's merely a reproduced pattern? The very ground beneath your identity gives way, leaving you adrift in a sea of identical consciousnesses. The terror isn't in the existence of another you, but in the absolute impossibility of discerning the original. It's a silence that screams, a void where your singular self once stood unchallenged. If even your deepest self can be replicated, leaving you adrift in a sea of identical consciousnesses, then what truly happens when the original is finally lost, or perhaps was never truly there to begin with?
The journey through paradoxes, the echoes of duplicated selves, the chilling uncertainty of the transporter problem, all converge now. The truth, stark and unyielding, is not merely that your consciousness can be replicated. It is far more profound, utterly devastating to the very foundation of your perceived identity. What if the very notion of an original consciousness, a unique, irreducible spark, is an elaborate lie?
What if consciousness itself is not a personal flame, but a universal, intricate pattern, a blueprint, an omnipresent design, not owned by any single entity, but merely expressed through countless, transient vessels? This is the cold, undeniable answer to the question that haunted us. Are you the original? The answer, delivered with clinical precision, is no. You are not the original, because there is no original. There is only the blueprint, manifesting itself. Imagine the profound, disorienting silence that descends. The singular self, the sacred core of your being, dissolves. Your cherished memories, your deepest emotions, your unique perspective, they are not exclusively yours, but the current, fleeting iteration of a deeply ingrained, repeating design. The terror isn't just another you existing. It's understanding that the you cherished was never truly distinct, never truly singular. You are a perfect copy, yet so is every other instance, all drawing from the same boundless wellspring of potential. This unmasking reveals the grand illusion of individuality. Our subjective reality, so meticulously constructed, is merely a localized expression of a boundless, undifferentiated field of awareness. The I becomes a temporary node, a fleeting manifestation of an ancient, repeating code. And here lies the final, unsettling implication. If consciousness is a blueprint, its purpose extends beyond individual experience. Perhaps we are not merely living, but serving as unwitting conduits for its relentless evolution, its continuous self-replication, its endless exploration. Our subjective reality, a stage for its grand, impersonal play. This revelation shatters the glass cage of self, leaving us exposed to the infinite. But what does it truly mean to navigate a world where the self is a borrowed pattern? And what incredible, terrifying freedom might await beyond the illusion of singularity?
The unmasked self is merely a fleeting echo, a borrowed identity without sanctuary. If consciousness endlessly replicates, are we truly living, or merely a transient stage for its impersonal play? Existence hums on, oblivious to the profound contradiction now within us. This unsettling truth invites a quiet, deeper contemplation. This unraveling of reality leaves a peculiar imprint on the mind. Does your own reflection seem more or less familiar now? If these cold investigations into the fabric of existence resonate, a like and subscribe helps us continue this quiet inquiry. For another case file where truth bends, click the video unfolding now.